today's video is going to be a one brand tutorial, and the brand of the day is Smashbox Cosmetics. I will be using almost everything on my face is Smashbox, with the exception of like my mascara, my under eye concealer, and my brow products. Everything else is Smashbox. I love the look I came up with. It's like a bronzy, glowy, pinky look. I don't know. Natural, but still has some oomph. So let's go ahead and get started, and at the end I'll give you a roundup of what products I think are standouts from the line and which ones are kind of duds, if there are any. Spoiler alert, there is one. Okay, let's get started. I have 3 different primers from Smashbox. Full-size Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, oil-free, the pore minimizing one. It's like lavender. Don't love this, honestly. And then I have the Smashbox Photo Finish More Than Primer Blemish Control Salicylic Acne Treatment Primer. This is the green one. This is a little deluxe eye sample. I think this is the 3rd deluxe eye sample I have, and I probably will use this up. I have a lot of active acne stuff going on. And then I also have this Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. So I have not used this one yet, but I'm going to use a mixture of all 3 of those primers today. Am I high maintenance? Yes. But yeah, I'm just going to use the green one on the areas where I want salicylic acid. The reason I'm not just going to go ahead and put that all over my face is that I do have dry skin, and this salicylic acid can be a bit drying. So I'm just applying it kind of as a spot treatment to the places where I tend to break out. And then I'm going to go in with the pore minimizing one and use that on most of the rest of my face. So this one, you'll notice, is like khaki color, and it's I don't know, I don't find it hydrating, and that's why I don't like to use it. But I'm going to use it around my nose, on my cheeks, just to like hide those larger pores. Alright, and then I'm going to use the Hydrating Under Eye Primer just under my eyes, obviously. I have a Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation. This is the 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation, and I have it in the shade 2.2. And as you can see, I have used quite a bit of this foundation. Like, I think it's up to here. But I find it very full coverage. I do not particularly find it hydrating, even though it's called the 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. This is a dark shade for me, 2.2. I think if I were to repurchase, I would definitely go with the shade lighter, but that's alright. As I'm getting closer to summer, I am noticing that I can pull off a slightly darker foundation, which obviously didn't stop me because I've almost used it up. And then the other product I want to talk about is the Smashbox 24-Hour CC Spot Concealer, and this is the shade Light. So this is a concealer that you put on either under or over your foundation. Now the shade Light is going to be very light on me. Use it on a couple of zits just so you guys can see what it does. But it has a really fine tip, and you just kind of like paint it on wherever you want to spot conceal. And then it really doesn't budge. But I'm using it with a beauty blender underneath my foundation. And then I'm going to put my foundation on top, and hopefully you won't be able to see those two zits. But I do agree that light is too light for me. I wish I had gotten a shade darker. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and apply that foundation. A couple of squirts on my hand. Foundation is very full coverage and kind of drying to me, so I definitely recommend that you use it with a beauty blender. I'm just pouncing it on my skin. Pretty good coverage now. I just put another pump on my hand, and I'm going over those places where I want just a bit more coverage. Okay, so I don't have a Smashbox concealer, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer really quickly in medium golden, and then I'll be right back. I am all concealed and spot corrected and everything. Foundation's done. So for powder I'm using this Smashbox, sorry mine is filthy, Smashbox Halo Hydrating Perfecting Powder. So I have it in Fair Light, and I think that that is a fine shade for me, even though I tend to be light medium. So go a shade lighter in this than you think you need. But it's a loose powder, and when you spin the little dial thing, and then when you spin this around, more powder comes out. It's kind of hard to demonstrate without making a mess, but it kind of crushes more powder and more powder will come out. So I'm using the e.l.f. small tapered brush, getting a bit of that powder, and then I'm just pressing in that under eye concealer. This is the powder for you if you have dry skin and you want powder to increase the longevity of your makeup, but you don't want powder to make you look more dry. I think it does add a little bit of coverage, So now I have like the base of the face. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. And this is it's kind of like a cream that you prime your eyes with. I like this eye primer, but I don't like it as much as I do using something that has a little bit of coverage for the lids. Like, I have some discoloration on my eyelids, which I put foundation over them just now, so that's fine because I knew I was using this primer. But I prefer using like a paint pot. I just got this product by Smashbox. This is the Smashbox Fusion Soft Lights Baked Starburst. So it looks like a little pie chart, basically, and it's got bronzer and highlighter in it. So if you swirl the brush, I haven't actually used this yet, but I imagine if you swirl the brush, you'll get like a nice bronzy cheek color. I'm going to isolate some of the darker shades, the brown ones, to get a more bronze contoured look, and then I'll use this as my highlighter, isolating the lighter shades as well. So I will actually use the, I'll actually use the same brush I used for my powder. This is the e.l.f. small tapered brush. Because it has a taper, it comes to more of a point. I'm going to isolate the color, the brown, for bronzer. Oh, this is super sheer, but I kind of like that. Pretty. It's like a soft, like it says Fusion. I like it. See, this cheek has it, this cheek doesn't. It just adds a nice definition to that cheekbone. I'm going to use that same brush and apply a little bit to the temples and up at the hairline. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Pretty. Okay, for blush, I am using this Smashbox Blush Rush in Flush, and what I didn't know about this blush, okay, I owned it seriously for like a year before I realized this. It is just your normal compact, you know, you kind of put your finger under the thing and pop open the lid. We can check this out. I have not seen a blush like this, but it has a mirror. You just have to like swivel it out from underneath the product. So I seriously owned this for a year before I realized that was a feature. But I like that. I mean, you never know when you're going to want to like have a mirror with your product. But anyway, this color, the Blush Rush and Flush, is like a soft ballet pink, maybe slightly pinky purple. And it's got a beautiful shimmer. I love this blush. I forgot how much I love it. It's like a frosty ballet pink. And I think it is really pretty because I already had the bronze, and I'm mixing the bronze with the blush. And so, while the bronze may be too bronze on its own, and this may be too frosty pink on its own, when you blend the two together, gorgeous! I would like to remind you that I do not have a highlighter on yet, and look at that cheek. That's no highlighter. That's gorgeous. But you know I'm not going to stop there. I am going to use this Starburst again, the Fusion Soft Lights Baked Starburst, and I'm going to use the same brush that I used for the bronzer, and I'm going to isolate some of the lighter shades to get a highlighter. I have to choose from a really light gold, a light champagne-y color, and a light pink in this to choose from. So that's nice. I can kind of custom make my bronzer, blush, and highlight. So I went ahead and took an opportunity to do my brows. Since I didn't have a Smashbox brow product anyway, I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Soft Brown. Then I did the eye and the lips. So this is what we're going to create over here. I just wanted to save us some time. And also, it gives me a chance to figure out what it is I want to do. I'm using the Starburst again, and I'm using a fluffy brush. This one is by Crown, I believe. And I'm taking that bronzy shade, the darker bronze, and using that as a transition shade. And then I'm actually going to take a flat brush and use that all over the lid as well. Since I wanted to keep the lips kind of nice and glossy and light, I wanted to use a darker shade on the eyes. And this is the darkest shade I have by Smashbox. But then when I was looking at it, I was like, gosh, that looks a little orangey. And I was aiming to go with the blush color, like that pinky purple, like a lilac shade. And so then I went into the blush instead. So then I went into this lightest pinky shade. It's like a pink highlighter almost. And I tried that on the lid. And then I was like, nah, that hardly shows up. I mean, it's pretty. So I took that pinky shade and the lightest shade from the Starburst, like the champagne color, and I used those together underneath my brow. And then I also used them on the inner corner of the eye. I'm almost there, and then I just took some of this Smashbox blush that I used, and I applied that to the lid with a flat-ish eyeshadow brush. And then I took it on the very upper edge of the shadows that I've been using. And then a clean brush just to blend it out. So it kind of gives, I'm not doing any definition in the outer V or the crease, so it just kind of gives a really pretty like flush. When you're looking at it when it's complete, you're like, you're not thinking about, oh, there's the dark shade, there's the light shade, here's the shimmery shade. You're just looking, oh, it looks pretty. You know, like you can't put your finger on where all the colors are. It's because they're all mostly blended together. But yeah, I just took a blending brush and blended out the edges, and that's the eye look I came up with. Pretty simple. I mean, you could have accomplished the same thing by taking the nude color all over the lid, the white color under the brow, and then put the pink on the lid too. But I don't know. Get hair however you want. I just think it's pretty. Going in with this Smashbox Always Sharp Waterproof Kohl Liner in Penny Lane, and it is a bronzy shimmery shade. It does stay sharp. Like when you twist the lid, it like automatically sharpens itself. And I did a pretty generous line here because the shadow look was pretty simple, so figured I could do a heavy liner and then smudge it out a little bit. Then I took just a tiny bit of that liner right underneath the outer third of the eye on the lower lash line. I took that lid shade again and just kind of like blended on top of the liner that I did. And it just softens it a little bit. But lashes and applied some mascara. So the eyes are now done. I just think it's like a very natural daytime look, but still it's got some impact. You know, I think the liner, the bronzy liner is so pretty. So for my lips, I had one Smashbox lipstick that was red, and I didn't want to use that today. So I'm going to go with this golden gloss. So underneath it, I'm taking the Smashbox blush that I had in Flush, and I'm going to actually tap that powder on my lips. And that's that frosty pinky color. And then on top of it, I put the gloss. This is the Smashbox Lip Enhancing Gloss, and it is Illume. So it's like a bronzy shade, and then I took my finger, clean finger, and put it into the blush again, and put that on top. Kind of tint it from the golden shade to the little bit more of the lavender shade. More baby pinky purple than baby pinky gold. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Alright, last step is the setting spray. This Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. You can use this before or after you do your makeup. I just think it takes the edge off, like the powdery look, if you have a powdery look going on, to use the spray after. But you could use it both. You just run through it very quickly. For the Smashbox One Brand tutorial, I like to always kind of give a summary of what products I think were standouts from the line, which ones were duds if there were any. So let me be honest with you. I like pretty much everything. I don't have any Smashbox eyeshadows at the moment. I actually used to, and then I got rid of them, and now I want one of their new palettes. The double exposure, I want one of those palettes. But anyway, for duds from the line, I would definitely have to say that Starburst. Now, can you get a pretty look out of it? Absolutely, yes you can, but it is not very pigmented. I mean, I had to work really hard to get any kind of pigment out of it. So I'd recommend that more for people who are looking for a natural look and not somebody who is looking for like a super dramatic look, because you're not going to get there with that product. But I really like the foundation. I'm not like crazy about the spot concealer. I know it works, and I think I just need to pick up a darker shade. I really like the gloss. It is supposed to be lip enhancing. I don't know if it enhances my lips any, but I think it's pretty, so nonetheless, I will wear it. But yeah, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.